Hi everyone, this is a short explanation about the authentication flows. I'm not going to explain what authentication flows is. I assume that if you are here, I assume that you already read or you already understand that you need to use the authentication flows model. What I am going to show here is a short demo of how to configure and how to run it. So actually, if you saw in GitHub, we have two projects of authentication flows. Maybe it's a bit confusing, but documentation is pretty good, so I think it's pretty helpful. So this authentication flows, this is the client application, and this is what we're going to talk about. It uses the real authentication model, the backend module, and this project is the client module. Okay, it's a WAR, and when you take it from GitHub and you compile it, it should compile, but not run because it will not run because you have to configure several things. So the README here shows you in detail what exactly you have to configure in the client side. But let's talk a bit about the database. I guess that you don't want to work with the in-memory implementation, which it's just mocks. So you want to work with a real database. So I've installed on my machine, I've installed the MySQL 5.7, and here in the client side I have to configure these parameters. You have to configure the user, the password, host port, and the schema name. Once you finished with that, we can go and have a look at the database. So I use Heidi as a client, and if you installed these three tables, and you can install it using the scripts that you can find in the documentation. You see, this is in GitHub. It sends you to the backend module, as I said, and you can find here all the database scripts, how to create the schema, of course, this schema name is just, it's a recommendation. You can call it however you want, but you have to change the property as well, the property that we just saw. This is the create script for the policy table. This is for the users, and last one is for the links table. Now, you can start with all tables are empty except the policy. In the policy table, you have to start with something. Otherwise, it will not run. You will get null pointer exception, etc. So, how do you initiate it? This is something that I have to add to the manual. Didn't do that yet, but I can show you here script. Okay, it's very simple. You can see that the minimal things, the minimal set of properties that you need is the policy ID, the password max length, and the password blacklist. This is it. You don't have to give values to all other columns. And once you did that, you can go to the table itself, see the data, and this is it. So we compile the project. Now everything is in place, and we created the WAR. If you want to see how I build it, it's very simple. I use Gradle. I go to this to the location. I use Gradle clean build. Simple as that, and it creates me a WAR. I take this WAR, I deploy it on. In my case, it's on Tomcat, and this is it. I can start the Tomcat. For now I have something running, so let me kill it. Let's start all over again. Let's see where it is. Let's find my Tomcat and start it. Okay, so after 15 seconds, in my case it's 15 seconds. If you have stronger machine, maybe faster. If you have slower machine, a bit longer. But this is something normal, 15 seconds, and you have it up and running. And then you can go to any browser that you like. I want to work with Chrome. So what I did, this is what I put in Tomcat. And Tomcat deploys it to this directory, and this is what I want to see. So this is my context path. I have to /login /login HTML. This is the landing page actually. And the user sees this one. Okay, when he tries to log in, of course, he will not be able to log in because he's not in our DB. What he has to do is register. This is the first flow that we support. He has to register. So we click register. And now what the user has to do is to enter his username, which is the email address. I'm going to use here, just for tests, my email address at work. And the password is very simple, because as you remember, the policy that we've entered is the minimal set. But from security reasons, you can limit your users to choose more sophisticated passwords. So you can set the password minimal length and maximal length and so on. Everything is documented in the documentation. And after we have finished with that, we can simply click create account. Now, what happens behind the scenes? First of all, happily we can see that we received this message, account created successfully. An activation message was sent to this email, and this is the email that I got. Perfect. And what's happening behind the scene, if we go to the users table, if we refresh it, of course, we can see a new entry, a new row in the table. This is the username, which is the key. The password is encrypted, of course. If you don't encrypt the password in the databases, it's a very bad thing to do. Enabled, the account is not enabled yet. It will be enabled only after the user who received the link to his inbox, only after clicking the link, only then the account will be enabled. Security reasons, again, you can read about it. Login attempts counter. If user tries to log in 5 times, for example, it's configurable. After 5 times, we lock up his account. And we have here other columns, other properties. Okay, so I'm not going to show you my my inbox because, as I said, it's the mail of of work. But we can see here in the console, you can see this this log, info log. You can see sending registration email to blah blah blah. This is the email, and this is the activation URL. This is the link that I just received to my inbox. I'm going to copy that. Okay, it's not simple. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to place it in the browser. I have to add this one, and this is similar to clicking the link. Okay, same effect, and we see account was activated successfully. If you go now to the database, refresh it, we see the enabled is true, so the user can try to log in now. Now, by the way, if we try to register again with the same email address, no matter if it's the same password or not, it doesn't matter. If we create an account, we get this error, which is perfect. Okay, this is it. This is the first flow of create account. Thank you for staying with me.